Morning, Loz. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good.
I can't hear myself.
You can't hear yourself?
No. Is that my issue or
no, it's probably nothing to do with me.
Is it my headphones? Are they dead?
But do you like not hearing yourself?
I don't hate it.
There might be some people who want to hear you.
I know.
And then there are other people who might say, no, I don't want to hear you either.
I only mentioned it because I was more worried that my mic wasn't on or that a button wasn't pushed.
No, I can hear you fine.
What level am I at?
Quite loud, as you always are.
I'm usually about a 10.
Because I bring you up quite loud on here.
Oh, no, they just look like they were next to each other. I'm a solid 10.
A little bit higher. Solid 10. Yeah.
On my levels, anyway.
Yeah, I don't push you too hard. I don't want you to be too loud.
The fact that these headphones aren't working right now has really irritated me. But I'm already a bit irritated this morning because hay fever is just killing me.
Really?
I woke up
this morning. Are you getting that?
Oh, bad.
Because normally I get it. And I'm not.
No. I've always gotten terrible hay fever. Like I've always like really, really bad. But since that storm last Friday, not the Friday just gone, the one before it, I've had it quite bad. And then I'm talking to the point where like I'm breaking out in rashes. Like I usually get hay fever like the eyes, the nose, the sinuses.
Yeah.
But I don't usually get that itchy rash everywhere. Some people do. Now, one step further, I've got rashes all over my arms. Yeah.
Well, that's really bad.
I know.
Maybe you need to go to the doctor.
It's making I've already spoken to a doctor about it. It's just hay fever. It's just my eyes and my ears and my sinuses are all itchy. You know when you're so itchy in your brain, it just makes you irritated?
Yeah.
So that's how I'm feeling this morning.
I've got slightly itchy eyes and slightly nosy, throaty, but it's not the worst I've ever had.
Oh, it's so bad for me.
Like normally here in this town, I get it a lot worse than this. As you've heard me over the last year or so, I'm often quite under the weather with the old, sinuses and that sort of stuff.
I feel like I need to stick a cotton tip in my ear and just to scratch. I'm not going to because that's bad.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm so itchy, inside. It's driving me
my ears
crazy.
are a bit itchy. Yeah, I get that too. But it's maybe having the week in Cairns has helped me a little bit.
The humidity. It got that bad. As much as I hate humidity, it got the hay fever's gotten this bad like over the last 10 days that I actually looked into getting a humidifier for my bedroom for when I sleep.
I know that they are popular at the moment, humidifiers. I can tell you that from other aspects of my world that I am involved in.
Oh, okay.
Yes, definitely very popular at the moment.
Yeah, well, I think I've heard that they're really good for the sinuses. As much as I'm really not a humidity girl, I really don't like humidity at all. But if it's going to help me when I wake up in the morning feel better, why not?
Look, I think they're a good thing. The dehumidifier is what you need if you live in a place like Darwin or possibly Cairns.
Yeah, okay.
Because it's always humid. I find in the humid environments my eyes get gunky.
Yeah.
Right? So, and that happened a little bit in Cairns too. I had a little bit
I think at this point I'd prefer the gunky eyes over the itchy. I want to rip my eyeballs out of my head.
I hear you.
Yeah.
But maybe that's what it was, just having that time away as well, getting some sleep. I had some big nights of sleep when I was in Cairns. I had like 10-hour, 11-hour sleeps, things like that.
Sometimes the humidity does that, makes you a bit fatigued.
Well, I was in a motel, nice one. I stayed at the Hilton.
Yep.
Which was lovely.
Would you call the Hilton a motel? It's a bit fancy. When you say motel, I think like a Motel 6.
It's been done up. It's obviously a 1970s, 80s hotel. Okay. But it has been done up a bit. And the aircon was on. There was a bit of a debate. Because my son initially slept in the room with me. And he wanted the aircon at, you ready for this? 5 degrees.
5?
Because he's from Melbourne.
Wouldn't it freeze itself?
Well, it was on 5 degrees, and I fell asleep. But the first night I got there, because I was just tired, it was a Monday night.
5 degrees is a bit silly.
Well, you can imagine me, like I've done the weekend of DJing where I'm up all night and that sort of thing.
Yeah, but even in Melbourne, like we're from Melbourne, but even in Melbourne, like 5 degrees is ridiculous.
Oh, it was ridiculous. Anyway, so I'm fell asleep on the bed while the kids are playing cards around me.
Yeah.
Because I got beaten I'd beaten them all and I won the competition they wanted to keep playing on. So I let them keep playing. And I've just crashed on the bed because I've had the big weekend and flying up there and having to get a lot of work done before I left. We had a lot to do here, a few people away, as you know. And so I've just done that and I've crashed on the bed. And I crashed for 2 hours. And then woke up feeling really cold. I was in my clothes still.
Yeah.
Woke up really cold. And my son had put the aircon to 5 degrees.
Oh, that is ridiculous.
So then I switched it to, you save more at 24.
Yeah.
Right? I put it to 24.
Yeah.
Which is what I like to run all the aircons at now because I've been educated by this radio advertising campaigns on at the moment. And I put it to 24. And then the debate was, well, my son wanted to sleep under a big thick doona and feel like he was in Melbourne And so he wasn't very happy with 24.
I think you can do that even at 24, especially if the bedroom's not massive.
Not if you're from Melbourne.
I am from Melbourne.
No. I'm talking about you live in Melbourne right now and you've come up from the middle of winter to Cairns. You are not going to be able to cope with 24. Right? 24 is hot.
I disagree.
No, because when they have the heaters on...
I was in Melbourne like 6 weeks ago, so I disagree.
They don't even run their heaters in Melbourne. These guys, I don't know whether they're trying to save money or the heaters don't work or whatever they're doing. They don't run... Like when I go to Melbourne, it's cold at their house. It's freezing.
Yeah, well, when I was in Melbourne recently, I was in Ocean Grove, so freezing.
Yeah.
Absolutely free. Like Ocean Grove in July.
Look, some people in Melbourne would run their heaters all the time, so they'd be right to go to Cairns, but these guys don't.
So I was absolutely freezing, and when I was down there, here, we were like 30-something.
Yeah.
So I did go from freezing cold to here, and absolutely, I couldn't know. 5 degrees is just so silly.
But you say,
like that would break. I feel like that would freeze the air conditioner.
But this is what they're used to. They'd be used to being out in days of 13 degrees during the day and overnights of 5.
Yeah.
So these kids are used to that, and sleeping under a doona, of course, that's how they keep warm. They don't put the heater on. Heater's probably on early in the evening.
No,
and then
I get that. I like having the aircon on so I can sleep under the doona, but the aircon at like even let's go crazy. Even having the aircon at 21, that's doona weather. You can totally get under the doona.
We can.
No. Even when I was in Melbourne, I can.
Yes, I know, but these guys are not doing it that way.
Yeah.
They're not keeping the house warm. They're keeping it cold. There's all sorts of reasons I won't go into why they keep the house cold.
Maybe they're warm-blooded.
Yes. Look, a member of the household is needing the house to be cold.
Nice and freezing.
So they just leave. They don't heat the house.
Yeah.
They might heat it for a little bit earlier in the evening.
Yeah.
And then they sleep under the doonas. They all keep themselves warm under the doonas and wait for it. They have the windows open overnight in Melbourne.
I don't actually hate that. I actually like to be able to be cold and under a doona and have that breeze. I love it.
Yeah, they love that.
I think that's why I think that's why even now, rain, hail, shine, freezing or hot, I sleep with our ceiling fan on.
I would get sick, and I know it doesn't cause sickness, I understand, but I would get headaches and sore ears and that sort of thing from having the window open.
Love it.
At night, any time of the year.
I would
in
love
Melbourne.
to. See,
I can't handle the window being open at night in Melbourne.
I would love that. I used to do it when I
lived.
It's
polluted. It's yucky.
Yeah, no. When I lived in Melbourne, I used to have the window open. I wish I could hear. Unfortunately, I cannot. But I love that feeling of having the window open. So I replicate that with a ceiling fan every night.
There you go. And if you refer back to our chat yesterday, where I talk about being worried about people intruding, because I've lived in a lot of areas where people do intrude, such as Port Hedland. I mentioned Port Hedland yesterday, and here, and the little shocks that I had early on in my last place. I think keeping a window open, whether we're here or in Melbourne, is not on my agenda, because I don't want anybody to get in or try and get in. That's pretty much it. I think keeping the place locked up and run, but air conditioner under a doona at 24. I ran the aircon all night last night. It was so sticky.
Yeah,
I've never done that. Since I've been in town, I've never run the aircon all night.
I like comfort, and maybe from my years of living in Victoria, I like being under a blanket. I do not like sleeping with no blanket. I cannot sleep with no blanket, and so I would rather pay the extra electricity bill and have my house freezing cold, just so I can at the very least have even just a thin. It doesn't have to be a thick blanket, but I just can't sleep with no blanket. I just am not comfortable.
I normally have to have a sheet over me at least.
Yeah.
But
it's like that whole when you stick one foot out thing and the monster under the bed's going to grab your foot. Like, I just can't do it.
Maybe something like that. I used to like having it over my ears so that I blocked all the sound out from outside. But for me last night, no sheet, just lay there asleep. And it was hot until about 4 a.m. when the aircon had been a bit too cold for me. Now, the aircon in my place that works is out in the lounge room. The one in my room doesn't work. Oh. So it's out in the lounge room, and I had that pumping away. It's like an 8 kilowatt or something. So, I'm going to get a lovely bill for that. But it's by 4 o'clock, I pulled the sheet over me. By 4:30, I was too hot again.
Yeah, right.
My place has not cooled down, even with the big monster aircon firing up. It hasn't cooled down.
Oh,
and even this morning when I went outside, it was cooler outside than in my house, even after aircon running all night. It's a hot place, and also in winter I notice how much cooler it is. Yes, I've moved from one place to another, but I've also cut off my nose to spite my face. I feel like maybe I should have stayed in the little small place I was in before.
Cooled really easily.
That didn't need any heating in winter and didn't need any cooling in summer, even though I had the aircon there, and I didn't pay electricity in that place. I do now. So here we go. This is life, though. We first world problems, eh?
Maybe you should look at house sitting over the summer.
Well, I could.
And then
I could do that.
Find a place with a pool and a good aircon.
Maybe I should just stay here at the radio station. There's a shower here. I could just do that.
There you go.
Great aircon here.
Fantastic.
But anyway, we better get to the news.
Absolutely.
Now, we need part 2. You've got to go to part 2 because we're going to announce the winner only in part 2 of our matcha competition. So we'll be doing that in part 2. So go to part 2 to find out who wins this week's prize.
Yeah. Is it matcha or matcha?
I don't know. Is it macho?
I thought it was matcha.
I think matcha?
Matcha? Matcha. Oh,
matcha
I
do
don't
about
know.
nothing.
Much ado about nothing.
Much ado about nothing.
I don't know now. Now you've confused me.
I don't know. We're going to go to the news. You're on Sun.